Hi everyone, this is Becky with Diversity in the United States, discussion board number 4. We were asked how male privilege may contribute to a lack of women in top corporate positions in American business. And from the article in the textbook, The Invisible Privilege of Maleness, it says that whiteness equals normal, and men are actually classified as having privileges, and most men are typically unaware of this. But the text also says that men have disadvantages, and they are like drafted in the military, so they don't have all privileges, especially not at my house. My husband takes part in a lot of the help around here, so but with that question, a good example that I thought of was the last presidential election. Hillary Clinton, very famous, very well known, but she was female. She did not earn the presidency title. I feel like women in general probably feel like president is for male. And that ultimately goes into business too. Women may feel like they get judged because they're either not the male, or they have children, so people may not want them to take part in a CEO position. I did find it interesting that the first thing we had to read was that 14% of women are CEO position holders. That does seem very, very little percentage-wise, and I believe it. I mean, it is true in our society, but you just don't stop and think about that until you read something such as what we read. Another point was how prejudice, discrimination, and exclusion weaken our society as a whole. I think in general with society, we just don't all work together. We've got our white groups, we've got our colored groups, we've got people, and if we could come together and put our brains together, I think we could strengthen society. But we're too busy with the hatred and the discrimination and excluding, and that trickles down to our children too. I work as a Title I para at the school, and kids get excluded all the time, and I know that just stems from adults on down. So it weakens our school too. Prejudice, discrimination, and exclusion all weaken society and our schools. Number 4, analyze historical and contemporary perspectives on selected minorities, culture groups. I guess historically we all know the slaves, where the blacks were treated very unfairly. The whites and blacks separate drinking fountains, all that stuff. But on a more contemporary note, I guess it's contemporary, I don't see myself this old, but 30 years ago, I remember my mother making me a Cabbage Patch Kid. And I had a white one, and I had a black one. And I remember taking that black Cabbage Patch Kid to school, and I was so excited. But the discrimination, we were an all-white school. There was no black children in our school, and that was a big ordeal. My mom said she got phone calls from other moms. And this says contemporary. That's not really contemporary, but that's just what I thought of when I was asked that question. I don't know that it's gotten any better. We may see more different, especially out here in Northwest Kansas, we may see more diversity with race, but I think it's still a big issue because we are a majority white population around here, and it's just not the norm, and people don't like abnormal things. Analyze the relevance of diversity to one's career. That might include a Mexican might get hired because, they're cheap labor. They're a hard worker. We know that Mexicans work hard. But whites discriminate against, you know, they may not hire a black person because they see black and they think criminal. For instance, our NFL, you know, that's a whole nother topic, but I understand why we've got the kneeling going on, because they are treated unfairly. In general, a black person is labeled a criminal. Not all the time, not by everyone, but they are treated unfair. And I think that we're getting worse than we've been, or from my feelings, my perspective, I feel like we're kind of reverting back to maybe some, I don't know, some of the unfairness that blacks have. I felt truly, and maybe I was just naive, but I truly felt like 15 years ago we were kind of getting to a better place. Me personally, you know, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I was naive, but I feel like we're getting to a better place with blacks and whites and, you know, Mexicans all kind of being together and kind of understanding each other. And now we're kind of getting back to that, I don't know, that discrimination and prejudice. That's just something I guess I feel. It's probably just my little brain, but I think our world is scary, and we all know that. But this class has really opened up my eyes and made me really stop to think about things. And I do pray for peace a lot, and I hope we can get to that point sometime in my lifetime. I worry a lot for my kids, but something's got to give. Something's got to work down the line here, and I guess I will do my part to try to make it a better place. But you guys all have a good week.